Lyra sat alone inside her small silver craft, hidden deep in the shadows of Earth's orbit. The blue planet floated below her like a quiet jewel. From a distance, Earth looked peaceful, calm oceans, soft clouds, shining cities. But Lyra knew the truth was far more complicated. She had been sent here by the Galactic Research Council, and they believed humans were dangerous, unpredictable, and emotional creatures. Their warnings kept playing inside her mind. Do not engage. Do not trust them. Do not reveal yourself. Lyra was an alien scholar, not a soldier. She studied cultures, not wars. But this mission felt different. Even before arriving, she had sensed something strange about humans, something the Council feared but did not understand. Her mission was simple: observe humans quietly and send back data. She activated her scanners. Soft blue light flowed across her screen as her ship mapped the cities below. But then something unusual happened. Instead of normal biological readings, she detected strange energy signals coming from human minds. Lyra blinked twice. "Is this possible?" she whispered. The signals were bright, unpredictable, but beautiful. They moved like waves, changing shape every second. She increased the scan range and the readings grew stronger. The ship AI beeped in confusion. Warning: emotional energy detected. Source: human. Lyra leaned closer. She watched scenes unfold through her observation camera. She saw a human firefighter rush into a burning building to save a trapped child. She saw strangers form a human chain to pull an old man from floodwaters. She saw a doctor working through the night, refusing rest because a patient's life depended on her. Lyra felt warmth in her chest, something she had never felt before. "So much courage, so much care," she whispered. But moments later, her screen changed again. She saw humans fighting, shouting, firing weapons. She saw soldiers marching in dusty lands. She saw explosions, hate, fear. Her heart tightened. The beautiful signals turned dark, twisting with anger and pain. Her ship blared another warning. Human emotional activity detected. Risk level unpredictable. She swallowed hard. The Council was right, humans were powerful and unstable. They could love fiercely but hate just as strongly. She wasn't sure what to believe anymore. Still, she continued scanning. She wanted to understand them. Why did they risk their lives for strangers? Why did they fight so hard for things they cared about? Why did their emotions create so much light and so much darkness? Lyra's curiosity pushed her forward, even as fear made her hands shake. "I must learn more," she said. She moved her craft lower into orbit. Her scanners reached deeper. But as she approached a busy human city, her ship suddenly shook. Beep, beep, beep. The alarm screamed across her cabin. Her cloak, a technology that made her invisible, began to flicker. No, no, no. Lyra tapped her controls. She tried to fix it, but the energy around Earth was stronger than she expected. Her screen flashed red. Warning: human detection system active. Her heart pounded. She checked the sky around her ship, but there was nothing visible. No missiles. No lasers. Just darkness. Then her communication panel lit up. A cold voice, human but calm, came through her radio. "Unknown vessel. We know you are watching us." Lyra froze. Her breath caught in her throat. Humans should not be able to detect her craft. Their technology was primitive compared to the Council's. Her ship was cloaked with advanced shielding that even other alien species couldn't break. So how did humans find her? Her mind raced. She tried to activate the cloak again, but the system refused. She checked her escape engines, offline. She checked her communication jammer, damaged. "Impossible," she whispered. "Humans cannot do this. They should not know I'm here." But the voice continued, slow and confident. "We have been tracking you since you entered orbit." Lyra's hands shook. She tried to send a signal to the Galactic Research Council, but the message bounced back. Humans were blocking her transmission. Her ship AI spoke again. "Human interference detected. Source unknown." Her fear grew. Humans had advanced systems she had never seen before. Were the Council wrong about humans being weak? Did humans already know about aliens watching them? Suddenly, a human patrol ship appeared on her radar. Its shape was small, simple, but it moved with precision and speed that surprised her. "Approaching vessel," her AI announced. "Distance closing." Lyra's heart hammered like a drum. She had never felt so helpless. She had come to observe humans quietly, to understand their emotional nature. But now humans were observing her. She stared at the empty dark screen of her radio, waiting for the voice to speak again. The silence pressed against her like cold metal. And then, Tell us why you are here. The human voice was calm. Too calm. Lyra didn't answer. She couldn't. Every second felt heavy, like the entire planet was watching her. Her systems kept flashing red warnings. Her ship rattled as the human vessel got closer. And in that moment, one terrifying question burned in her mind. How do humans know she is here? Her training told her to stay calm, but her heart was racing too fast for calm thoughts. She tried to breathe slowly. She pressed her hands against the smooth metal of her console, hoping for stability. But even the metal felt alive with fear. Her cloak flickered again, then vanished completely. Her ship now shone like a lonely star in the darkness of space, visible to every human radar on the planet. Cloaking system offline, the AI repeated. Lyra swallowed. That meant she was exposed to Earth's military. She imagined human soldiers shouting, preparing missiles, locking weapons. The Council had told her humans reacted with violence when they felt threatened. She whispered to herself, "Stay calm. Do not panic." But panic was already climbing up her spine. The human patrol vessel appeared on her main screen. It was small, maybe 1/10 her size. It looked simple, almost primitive, metal framework, engines glowing with old technology. But its movements were too exact. Too controlled. Almost intelligent. How could primitive humans track her? How could this ship block her signals? How could they know she was here? Lyra leaned forward, eyes locked on the vessel. It glided toward her like a predator approaching prey, no rush, no fear. Then her radio crackled again. "Unknown vessel. Power down your engines." The voice was calm. Too calm. It felt confident, like the speaker knew exactly what he was doing. Lyra hesitated. If she powered down, she would be defenseless. She tried to answer, her hands shaking. "This is Scholar Lyra of the..." Her radio cut out mid-sentence. "We know who you are," the human voice said. Lyra's breath stopped. Oh. Even the Council did not fully understand her craft's identity codes. They were encrypted at the highest level. Her AI attempted to reboot communications but failed. Lyra looked out through her tiny viewing window. Earth was below her, glowing with city lights that reminded her of stars trapped on the planet's surface. The human ship was now so close that she could see its hull markings. White lettering, the symbol of 2 wings with a star between them. Her console blinked again. Human scanner beam detected. They were scanning her. Her instinct screamed to run, but her engines were damaged. She tried to activate manual thrusters. Sparks shot from the control panel. The ship shook violently and drifted downward. "No, no!" Lyra shouted. Her ship was losing altitude, slowly but steadily falling toward Earth's atmosphere. The human ship followed her descent. A second voice came through the speakers, female this time, steady and cold. "Unknown vessel, your systems are unstable. You are entering uncontrolled descent. Pull up immediately." Lyra tried. She grabbed the controls with both hands, forcing power into them. The engines roared weakly. But the damage was too great. Her crash alert lit up. "Warning. Atmospheric entry in 12 seconds. Lyra's eyes filled with fear. Her heart twisted inside her chest. She had never been this close to death. Not even in training simulations. The female human voice spoke again. "We can help you, but you must respond." Lyra hesitated. Could she trust them? Everything the Council told her screamed no. But every survival instinct inside her screamed yes. She opened the channel, voice trembling. "This is Scholar Lyra. My ship is malfunctioning. I am falling." Pause. Then the human replied. "We see that." No anger. No threats. Just a plain statement. Lyra didn't know what to feel. The human ship suddenly accelerated, cutting in front of her like a shield. Its engines fired, pushing against her descent path. Her ship's fall slowed slightly. Not enough to save her, but enough to buy time. Her AI counted down. Atmospheric entry in 6 seconds. The human voice shouted now, no longer calm. "Lyra, eject. Eject now." Lyra stared at her escape pod lever. She had never imagined using it. If she ejected, she would fall into Earth's forests, alone. Vulnerable. A stranger on a world that feared her. But her ship was about to burn up if she didn't. She grabbed the lever. Pulled. The pod blasted away from the dying craft. A burst of light filled her vision. Her body slammed into her seat as the pod spun wildly through the upper atmosphere. Fire licked the pod's windows as she fell faster and faster toward the planet below. Her AI voice grew distorted. "Brace, impact, forest, predicted." Screaming winds drowned everything. Lyra closed her eyes. The last thing she heard before blacking out was the human voice on the radio. "We're coming for you." Then silence. Lyra woke to darkness. Not deep space darkness, but something softer, warmer. She blinked slowly. Her head throbbed. Her vision was blurry, and for a moment she didn't know where she was. Then she remembered everything. The failing engines, the human ships, the fire around her escape pod, the fall. Lyra gasped and tried to sit up, but her body screamed with pain. She winced and lay back down. The surface beneath her was soft. Grass? Leaves. She felt cool air brushing her skin. Birds chirped somewhere in the distance. The smell of trees and soil filled her senses. She wasn't in space anymore. She was on Earth. Her heart pounded again. She forced her eyes open wider and looked around. The escape pod lay broken, half buried in soil and vines. Smoke curled up from cracked metal. Sparks danced along burnt wires. Her systems were dead. She was completely alone. Lyra's mind raced in panic. If humans found her, what would they do? Would they attack? Capture her? Experiment on her like the council feared? She tried to think. She needed to move. She needed to hide. She pushed herself up, groaning softly. Her legs trembled but held. Suddenly she heard footsteps. Lyra froze. The sound was slow, careful, but definitely coming closer. Leaves crunched. A branch snapped. Someone, or something, was moving through the forest toward her. She scanned her surroundings desperately for a weapon, but her escape pod was too damaged. She had nothing. No tools, no communication, no shield. Her cloak was gone. Her ship was destroyed. She stepped back, her feet slipping on wet leaves. The footsteps stopped. Silence. Then a voice, human, calm, soft, echoed through the trees. "It's okay. I'm not here to hurt you." Lyra's heart slammed against her ribs. She spun around, eyes wide. A human emerged from behind a tree. He was young, maybe in his 30s, with dark hair, tired eyes, and clothing stained with dirt. He carried a small pack on his shoulders and held something metallic in his hand, but not like a weapon. It looked like a medical kit. He raised his hands to show he was unarmed. "My name is Daniel," he said quietly. "I saw your pod fall from the sky." Lyra stared at him, confused. She expected fear on his face, or anger, or curiosity mixed with aggression. But his eyes showed something else. Concern. Real concern. She stumbled away from him, her body shaking. "Don't come closer," she warned. Her voice trembled. Daniel didn't move. He simply nodded, respecting her fear. "Okay, I won't. But you're hurt. You need help." Lyra frowned. "Why? Why would you help me?" Daniel hesitated for a moment, then replied with surprising honesty. "Because you need help." Lyra's mind couldn't understand that answer. The council taught her that humans cared only about themselves, that they attacked what they didn't understand. But this Daniel, he stayed still, patient, gentle. She looked at her bruised arms, the cut on her forehead, the smoke rising from her escape pod. She was in no condition to defend herself. Her body was weak, and she could faint again at any moment. She took a shaky breath. "Are you military?" she asked. Daniel shook his head. "No. I'm a scientist. At least I used to be." His voice had a tired sadness in it, like he had lived through something painful. Lyra felt her legs give way. She dropped to her knees, exhausted. Daniel immediately took a step forward, but stopped when she lifted a hand to warn him. He knelt down too, keeping distance, lowering himself to her level. "You crashed hard," he said. "You must be in shock. Can I help you stand? Just stand. Nothing else." Lyra stared at him carefully. He wasn't lying. She could sense his emotions, faint but clear, worry, caution but not hate. She slowly nodded. Daniel moved closer, gently placing one hand under her arm. His touch was warm. She expected pain or fear to spike inside her, but instead she felt something strange. Trust. He helped her stand and guided her toward a fallen log. She sat down, breathing hard. Daniel opened his medical kit and took out bandages and antiseptic. Lyra's eyes widened. "Are you treating me?" Daniel smiled slightly. "Yes, if you let me." "You're bleeding." She hesitated, studying him. The council would call this a trap, but her own senses told her something different. This human had no weapon, no armor, no soldiers behind him. Just kindness. Daniel cleaned the cut on her forehead. She winced, but he apologized softly. His voice was gentle, steady. Then he looked at her eyes, curious. "You're not human. Not even close." Lyra froze. She waited for him to change, fear, anger, panic. But Daniel simply said, "You're safe with me." Lyra's chest tightened with shock. "What? Why would you protect someone like me?" Daniel finished bandaging her wound and sat beside her, still keeping respectful distance. "Because whoever you are," he said, "you were falling from the sky. And I couldn't just watch that." Lyra stared at the forest floor. No words came. Before she could answer, a deep rumbling sound echoed in the sky. Daniel's eyes shot upward. Lyra followed his gaze. A human military aircraft cut across the clouds, heading toward them, fast. Lyra's blood ran cold. Daniel grabbed her arm, not harshly but urgently. "We need to move. Now." Lyra's voice shook. "What? Why are they coming?" Daniel looked at her with fear finally showing in his eyes. "Because they're not like me. And they won't treat you like I did." Daniel pulled Lyra into the shadow of the trees just as the military aircraft roared above the forest. Its engines screamed like metal beasts tearing the sky apart. Leaves shook violently. Birds scattered in panic. Lyra felt the vibration in her bones. Her heart hammered. She pressed her back against a thick tree trunk and tried to control her breathing. Daniel crouched beside her, eyes scanning the sky. "It's a search plane," he whispered. "They're looking for you, or what's left of your ship." Lyra swallowed hard. "How did they find me so fast?" Daniel's jaw tightened. "Humans are not as blind as your people think." Lyra stared at him. His words carried weight, heavy, painful truth. He glanced at her expression and sighed. "Look, humans are complicated. Some want to help. Some want to harm. And some—" His voice trailed off. Lyra waited, but he didn't finish. Instead, his eyes drifted to the smoke rising from her crash site. "When your pod fell, military satellites caught it. They're trained to detect anything unusual in the atmosphere. Meteors, weapons, unknown crafts." Lyra felt a cold chill crawl up her spine. "So they will come here soon?" "Yes," Daniel said quietly. "Very soon." The aircraft made another pass overhead, lower this time. Lyra heard static and faint voices from its speakers. Searchlights began sweeping the forest. Bright beams pierced through branches, slicing the darkness, searching for movement. Lyra pressed herself against the ground, panic rising. "I should not be here. I should not have come." Daniel shook his head, gripping her shoulder gently. "No. You came for a reason. You wanted to understand us." He looked into her eyes. "And now you're beginning to." She didn't answer. Her mind was spinning with fear and confusion. The council always told her humans were unpredictable and violent. But they never told her humans could be kind. They never told her humans could feel guilt, sadness, empathy. Daniel was living proof of something the council never predicted. Lyra looked at him carefully. "You said you used to be a scientist." Daniel lowered his eyes. For a moment he didn't speak and the silence grew heavy. Then he said, "I studied energy. I worked for the government. I helped them build scanners, ones that detect unknown signals in orbit." Lyra's eyes widened. "You helped them find me?" Daniel shook his head quickly. "No, not anymore. I quit years ago." His voice cracked slightly. "I left when I realized what they would do with the technology." Lyra frowned. "What would they do?" Daniel looked away, his eyes filled with a sadness she did not understand. "If they detect something alien," he said softly, "their first instinct is not to welcome it. It's to control it, study it, capture it." Lyra felt her stomach tighten. "What? Why fear something new?" Daniel gave a bitter smile. "Because humans fear what they don't understand. And sometimes, humans destroy what they fear." The words hit her like a punch. Suddenly the council's warnings made sense. Not because humans were evil, but because humans were scared. Lyra looked at the forest, the broken metal of her escape pod, the searchlights slicing the air. She whispered, "I came here to observe. Not to cause war." Daniel gently touched her arm. "I know. But the people coming here? They don't care why you came. They only care that you exist." A loud crash echoed through the forest. Lyra jumped. Daniel's hand tightened. "We have to move. Now." They ran deeper into the woods, branches slapping against their faces, leaves crunching underfoot. Lyra stumbled, exhausted from her crash. Daniel caught her each time, pulling her forward. Behind them, bright beams of light lit the forest like burning swords. Voices shouted orders. Dogs barked. Engines roared. Lyra panted, "Daniel, how do you know they're close?" He didn't slow. "Because I worked with them. I know how fast they move." They reached a clearing where moonlight washed the ground in silver. Lyra collapsed, breathing hard. Daniel dropped beside her. We can't stay here long. They'll scan this area soon. Lyra closed her eyes, feeling fear claw inside her chest. She had come to study humans, but now humans were hunting her. Her voice cracked. What will they do if they find me? Daniel hesitated, and that hesitation scared her even more. Finally he whispered, I don't know. But it won't be good. Lyra pressed her forehead into her hands. I should have listened to the council. They said humans were dangerous. They said I should never reveal myself. I should never engage. Daniel shook his head firmly. No, don't think like that. You saw the good side of us too. You saw people helping each other. You saw real humanity. Lyra looked at him, eyes filled with conflict. But you also fight wars. You hurt each other. Daniel nodded sadly. Yes, we are broken. But we are trying to be better. Some of us at least. His voice softened. And now, it's my turn to do the right thing. Before Lyra could respond, they heard heavy footsteps behind them. Leaves shook violently. Shadows moved between trees. Daniel stiffened. They're here. Lyra looked around frantically. Where do we go? Daniel scanned the forest. There's an old cabin nearby. I used to stay there when I needed quiet. We can hide there until I figure something out. Lyra felt weak but nodded. Daniel helped her stand, but before they could take another step, a bright beam of light exploded across the clearing. Lyra froze, blinded. Human voices roared. Halt. Don't move. Daniel stepped in front of her, raising his arms in surrender. Lyra's heart stopped. Soldiers emerged from the darkness, weapons raised, armor shining. One soldier pointed at Lyra, eyes wide with shock and fear. We have visual on the target. Lyra felt her blood turn to ice. The soldier's voice crackled through his radio. Command, we found the alien. Lyra could not breathe. The human voice on the radio was calm, but too calm. The calm of someone who already understood the situation. Someone who had planned this moment. Her claws shook over the control panels. Her ship's cloak flickered again, bright sparks running across the hull like electric fire. Data streams flooded her screens, warnings, errors, heat spikes. The human ship was still there. Still silent. Still watching. Lyra whispered to herself, How are they seeing me? Her training told her that Earth technology was primitive compared to the Council's stealth systems. Humans should not even know what to search for. They should not detect her. They should not be able to talk to her. But they did. And they spoke with confidence. Lyra's scanners tried to read the human ship, but everything about it felt wrong. The energy signature was unstable, like a storm frozen inside metal. Different from anything her people had recorded. Not violent, but full of something powerful, something unpredictable. Her systems displayed new warnings. Unknown energy pattern detected. Source, human vessel. Risk level, maximum. Lyra swallowed hard. Maximum, she whispered. That cannot be correct. She stared at the human ship, its hull glowing with faint blue lines. She remembered the things she had seen earlier on Earth. Humans rescuing strangers, crying when others suffered, laughing even in hard times. Humans seemed emotional, chaotic, unpredictable. Maybe unpredictable also meant impossible to understand. Maybe unpredictable meant dangerous. The voice spoke again, softer this time. Unknown vessel, we can feel your fear. We do not want to fight. Lyra's heart almost stopped. Feel her fear? Oh. Her ship had a mental shield. A strong one. No species in the Council could break through it. The voice continued. You came to observe, not to harm. But you must understand, Earth is not as weak as you think. A cold chill ran down Lyra's spine. If they knew she came to observe, then they knew about the Council. About the mission. About everything. She checked her long-range communicator. It was jammed. Completely blocked. She could not send a message to the Council, and the Council could not contact her. Her ship was alone. She was alone. She took a deep breath and forced her hands steady. This is Scholar Lyra of the Galactic Research Council, she said slowly, trying not to reveal her shaking voice. How did you detect my vessel? Silence. A deep, uneasy silence. Then the human voice answered, almost whispering. Because you were not the first to watch us. Lyra's eyes widened. Her heartbeat crashed against her ribs. The Council had always believed they were the only ones studying Earth. Her species had watched humanity for centuries, but humans were still supposed to be blind to their presence. But the human voice spoke with truth, and something else, sadness. The speaker continued. Others came before you. They didn't listen. They didn't leave peacefully. We remember them. Lyra felt her blood run cold. What did humans mean, others? Why did the voice sound like a warning? Her scanner suddenly flashed again. Human ship activating unknown system. A bright light enveloped the human vessel, shining like a star awakening. Lyra's ship trembled under the wave of energy, alarms screaming. Her cloak failed completely, revealing her full presence above Earth. She tried to stabilize the console, but the ship shook violently. No, 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 stay online, she shouted. The human ship drifted closer. Slowly. Carefully. Almost like it was approaching a frightened animal. The voice spoke one last time, deep and steady. Lyra, if you want answers, follow us. But know this, you are stepping into something you cannot undo. Lyra stared at the blue-lit ship, feeling the fear, the curiosity, and the truth mixing inside her. This was no simple observation mission anymore. This was the beginning of something else. Something that could change everything the galaxy believed. Lyra's engines hummed deep under the floor plates, vibrating through her bones as she followed the human ship. The blue-lit vessel moved slowly, guiding her like a lighthouse in a dark sea. But the darkness around Earth's orbit felt heavier now. Not empty, watching. Her scanners kept trying to read the human energy signature, failing every time. The readings changed every second, unstable, alive. Variable frequency, shifting patterns. This should be impossible, she whispered to herself. Her ship's AI answered in a flat tone. Unknown energy system. No match in Galactic Council database. Lyra stared at the words. No match. The Council had scanned millions of worlds, millions of ships, millions of energy systems. But humans had created something brand new, something the galaxy could not understand. Her heart pounded faster. Were humans really as weak as the Council believed? Or had the Council underestimated them for centuries? The human ship led her toward the dark side of the moon. The sunlight faded, replaced by cold shadows. Her ship's external lights flickered on, washing pale light across the surface. Then she saw it. A huge structure hidden in the shadows. It looked like a mountain of metal rising from the lunar surface, covered in strange glowing lines. Not alien lines, human lines. Its surface pulsed like veins carrying light. Lyra's breath caught. What is that? Her scanner struggled to measure it. Massive energy anomaly. Power levels unknown. Unknown again. Everything about humans was unknown. The human voice returned on the radio, calm but heavy. This is the place you must see. Lyra felt her throat tighten. She had expected a lab, a station, maybe a small human base. Not whatever this thing was. The voice continued. Your council thinks humans are predictable. Weak. Emotional. Dangerous. But emotion is not our weakness. The metal mountain pulsed brighter, casting blue light across Lyra's ship. It is our power. Lyra froze. Emotion as power? No species in the galaxy had ever harnessed emotion. Emotion was chaotic, unstable. It could start wars. It could build peace. It could destroy planets. Yet humans claimed they could use it. Control it. Shape it. Her mind struggled to process the idea. Had she misunderstood everything she studied? Her ship trembled suddenly. Not from fear. From the energy coming from the lunar structure. Lyra checked her console. Warning, energy interference. Hull integrity affected. The human voice spoke again, almost gentle. Do not be afraid. This structure will not harm you. It is called the heart. Lyra whispered, the heart. The human ship slowed to a stop near the glowing structure. Lyra followed carefully, feeling like she was approaching the core of a star. The heart pulsed again, slow, rhythmic, almost like a heartbeat. Her ship's systems lit up with unknown readings. Emotional energy frequencies. Human brainwave patterns. Even memories, yes, memories, flowing like light inside the structure. Lyra stared in disbelief. Were humans storing their emotions, their collective memories, in this giant machine? The voice answered her unspoken question. The heart holds our stories, our pain, our hope. It is why we know you are here. Lyra's claws dug into the armrests. Earth wasn't simply monitoring space. Humanity had created something that could feel her presence. Feel her fear. Sense her thoughts. A cold wave washed over her. If humans had such power, why were they still silent to the council? Why had they never shown this? The voice spoke lower now, filled with a quiet sorrow. Because the last time someone came to watch us, they tried to destroy the heart. Lyra's mind raced. Someone from the galaxy had attacked them. Someone had come before her, and humans remembered. The heart pulsed again, brighter, too bright. Her screens blurred, systems glitching. Suddenly, a new message flashed. Unknown entity scanning your mind. Lyra gasped. No, no, stop. Darkness swallowed her vision. Cliffhanger. Her consciousness slipped, and the heart began to read her.